It was quiet quitting at one point. It was the mass resignation. So now we got something else. What is career cushioning?
Career cushioning.
Career cushioning.
It's called career cushioning.
Here's a secret trick to protect yourself from a recession that is called career cushioning.
Career cushioning is taking off.
Who comes up with this? Can we stop calling it career cushioning? You guys don't know what it is yet, but if I told you what it was, you would probably all be like, yeah, I've been doing that my entire life. That's just called being a responsible adult. It's like quiet quitting. Everyone's like, oh, I've just been doing my job and going home my whole life. I didn't know there was a name for it. Well, now we have another one. So let's let this nice lady from Oregon tell us what career cushioning is.
Career cushioning is when people are gainfully employed, but they're also looking at other job options. It's basically plotting a plan B because you don't quite trust plan A right now.
That's all it is. It's you at a job going, if this doesn't work out, I should probably have a plan B and maybe somewhere else to fall back into. Like, I feel like most adults do that. It's pretty common knowledge not to quit a job before you have another one lined up unless your like mental health or, significant reasons cause you to quit without something else lined up. But now we've started coming up with these ridiculous terms for doing regular everyday things with our lives and our jobs. Like career cushioning. Maybe look at other opportunities. I can't wait for the media to spin this into a negative like they did with quiet quitting. Oh, you're one of those quiet quitters, aren't you? You're one of those lazy people. And then you're going to be at work. Your boss is going to be like, you're one of those career cushioners, huh? You're looking for a plan B while you're still working here, huh? Like, why do they do this? Always be applying to jobs, always. Even if you're at a job that you love, always be sending applications out because people above you make decisions that affect you without your consent. And they don't need that because you work for them and they own the company usually. So you should always be looking out for yourself. Always have a plan B, but career cushioning? I mean, do we really need a term for this, guys? Let's hear what this nice HR lady has to say about career cushioning.
It's a tried and true strategy of making sure that you protect and secure your greatest asset, your career. Making sure that you are positioning for a new job because you're concerned about the job you have. You're looking at your resume, you're building new skills, you're networking with as many people as possible inside and
The things listed on the screen right now are the same things that everyone does when anyone is looking for a job. It's not career cushioning, it's just applying for jobs. I guess they're saying these layoffs have caused people to second guess their career. Like, there is no loyalty, there is no guarantee, there is no security if you don't own the company, okay?
But what business leaders need to know is their employees are doing this. They're concerned and they're worried and looking elsewhere at the moment.
See, how did I know they were going to do it? How did I know the media was going to spin this into this being a bad thing? You're not career cushioning, are you now? You're not polishing that resume up.
If I'm an HR department and I think my employees are looking elsewhere, maybe they're talking about it in the open, or they're disgruntled.
Don't talk about going to a new job while you're at your job. Like, it's dumb stuff to do at work, 101.
What's some advice to those folks, the HR folks?
Well, I think management needs to be honest about where they are in their industry and whether or not they're going to be resilient in the year ahead.
Yeah, okay, all right. You can go ahead and tell management to be transparent with their employees and say everything's looking good. And then you can see how that's played out many times, like, especially on this channel like Better.com. Things will go better and we will become better. And then they do like 2 more mass layoffs. Carvana did a layoff. We will zig and zag, and this is just another zig in our something like that. They said something cheesy, and then they did another layoff. Like, you can go ahead and tell your workers you're being transparent with them and just not be. And there's nothing the employees can do about that because they don't have access or control of that information.
What do people need to be doing? How can they build confidence in what they're doing now in their reorganization strategy if they have one? And talk to the people that you want to retain about their career plans. What have they done that's good for the company? What do they need to do more of? Give them some guidance and some indication that you want them to remain there, and then also how they can benefit from staying with your company and not going elsewhere, knowing that they're already looking.
If they already know you're looking, and they're trying to convince you to stay, this is typically known as like a knowledge transfer. Chances are they're doing that because you have knowledge that they need before you go, and they're worried about that. As soon as they get what they need out of you, they're just going to probably dump you. And if anything, if bosses come up to you and try to convince you to stay, I don't think they should start with, I'm being as transparent as possible about the trajectory of our company. Start with, hey, if you stay, here's what we can do for you. And here's what the plan looks like. Maybe start with how it benefits the person, the employee staying at the company instead of what's going or where the company is going. Like, come on. What else do you have to say?
Do you think the pace of pay hikes is starting to slow? Because for 2 years, I mean, top talent could pretty much name their price or they bolt.
Yeah, they still can. If you're top talent and you have the skills to pay the bills, people will pay for your skills. If you're not top talent and you don't have the skills, then you can't negotiate. What are you talking about, Guy?
I think a lot of people may not be negotiating as hard because they want to make sure that they have a job, particularly if they've been laid off or if they're concerned that that's going to happen. So that may indeed happen.
Sounds like the power is flipping back to the company.
Or at least getting more even.
No, the media is just trying to portray it that way. The power's coming back into the companies. No, it's not.
It's called career cushioning, and it's exactly how it sounds. It's a cushion to fall back on. A soft landing of sorts when you're being bulldozed by news of doom and gloom, an economic downturn.
Yeah, you should be career cushioning at like every day of your life. Regardless if there's a recession or the economy is doing great, you should be career cushioning and always be applying to other jobs, okay? If you're always applying to other jobs, you have contacts, you're networking, you're getting emails. You don't have to respond to any of the emails you get back after you apply to a job, but now you've collected a bunch of HR emails, and so when you need those emails, you just respond and be like, hey, I'm still looking for this position. Is it still available or something like that? But you've built up a network and you're still applying and you're not jeopardizing your current job while opening up a bunch of other doors to better opportunities possibly.
A looming recession, layoffs across the board. This is now everyday news. The great slowdown is coming. In fact, it is already underway. And if we want to cushion our careers, we better acquire new skills.
So in the last video, this lady was like, don't be a quiet quitter. Focus on your skills and how you can be valuable to the company. And now she's talking about how to have a career cushion and to work on your skills in case companies let you go.
So that if our current job is redundant, we have a backup plan.
It's called leverage. Typically, CEOs are the ones with leverage. When they post a job application and 500 people apply, it's the CEO who gets to pick and choose and decide what they want or who they want. If you're an employee, you don't own a company, so you don't have leverage like that. The way you have leverage as an employee is to be able to hop to other opportunities, be able to go to different companies, be able to have a skill set that's flexible enough to provide you with that security.
Because LinkedIn data has revealed that its members added 365 million skills to their profiles over the last year.
That's funny that you mentioned people on LinkedIn adding skills to their profiles, because on LinkedIn, you can add skills for whatever you want without verification of that skill.
This was a rise of 43% year over year. So what does that tell us?
Hold on. Let me just show you how ridiculous LinkedIn skills are if you don't believe me. They mean nothing. Okay, so this is LinkedIn. If you scroll down to the skills section, you can come over here and you can click the plus button. Skilled in having skills. Boom. Let's add another skill. At making LinkedIn skills. I don't know. It's so silly, dude. These skills mean nothing on LinkedIn. Let's continue.
Let's decode this trend. Career cushioning is not like moonlighting. Many say it's a term borrowed from your romantic relationships.
I don't know why you would compare a romantic relationship with a working relationship, because they're not the same at all. Typically in romantic relationships, you both have let's say equal power, right? You can leave, they can leave if things aren't working out. But in a working relationship, the person paying you basically has all of the power. So this is a terrible place to pull this term from. It's the power dynamics at work and in a relationship are completely different. This is dumb.
Cushioning is a dating strategy where you have options. You know, in case you go through a bad breakup. Well, we wouldn't encourage.
That sounds like a terrible person. If you go through a bad breakup and you already have options, it's probably your fault that you broke up, you know, because why are you having options? Still, like, come on, what are you doing?
But as far as your career is concerned, currently, a cushion may be a necessity. What you're doing is adding a sense of security to your professional life.
What you're doing is adding a sense of security. No, you are actually adding real security if you do that, not a sense of security.
Preparing for the unexpected or the dreaded situation where you may need to look for a job. Look at these headlines. Company layoffs are now everyday news. Some are asking employees to resign voluntarily.
Yeah, because if they do that, then they don't have to pay out unemployment. Duh.
Others are apologizing to their fired employees for prioritizing growth. Some others are on a layoff rampage. This is now a global trend. What is career cushioning? Why is it important? Well, it's a step to be prepared for what's coming.
It's called basic job responsibility, financial responsibility, adult responsibility. You should be working on your skills. You should always be applying. You shouldn't get comfortable. Like, what? Career cushioning, really?
For a rainy day. Think of it as an insurance policy, perhaps. How to do this? 1. Assess the skills which you possess currently. 2. Update your skills. Learn new ones. 3. Update your resume. Highlight your newly acquired skills to appeal to recruiters. And number 4, do not at any cost be complacent. Don't make the mistake of assuming that you're indispensable.
I don't know who's making the mistake of assuming they're indispensable, because unless you're the owner of the company, I got some news for you, bud. I really do. So her advice was learn new skills, polish your resume, something else. Let me tell you what to actually do. Some real advice is you go to job boards and you apply to all of the jobs that you want to do, regardless if you're qualified. Like, they'll just reject you, right? It's just, and then apply to all the jobs that you think you can do or you think you can learn to do, and then just wait and then collect those emails. Put those emails in a folder. If you get any response, if it's a rejection email, save that email. If it's let's continue this progress, you don't actually have to continue the progress, or maybe you can do 1 or 2 follow-ups, and then if you're like, nah, then you don't have to respond. But make a folder in your email where you can collect all of these responses from the companies that you've applied to.
You tired of reading about layoffs and are worried about your job? Well, here's a secret trick to protect yourself from a recession
Here's a secret trick.
that is called career cushioning,
That's it. Being responsible and having a backup plan. That's the secret, guys.
which basically is the process of looking for the next job and having a backup
It's so secret. I don't think anyone could have figured that out without this short.
before leaving your current job, just in case the worst happens. You can do that in 3 ways. Firstly, thinking about what you want to do next.
Dude, the solutions to this secret trick.
Second, by upskilling yourself. And third, by keeping your LinkedIn profile updated and networking with your contacts.
Why did you bring LinkedIn to this? Why doesn't anyone say apply to jobs, collect emails, use those as a way to network and respond to different people in HR?
There is no harm in planning well and having a cushion and an open mind to new opportunities just in case. Are you hopping on this trend?
It's not a trend. It's not a trend to have a backup plan. People have been doing this since the beginning of jobs. You should always kind of keep a mental track to what's going on in the industry of the company that you work at. So like if you're a software engineer in the automotive industry and the automotive industry is in a huge decline, well, you could probably guess that might come your way pretty soon unless you're ultra important to the company and you have some special knowledge. You're a linchpin, I guess they might say. But otherwise, you can probably assume it's good to have a backup plan. Career cushioning. Can we just
Right, 85% of Americans are worried about inflation, but only 44% feel prepared for an economic downturn, according to a survey on LinkedIn. That's why the latest workplace trend. What is this? It's a term derived from the world of dating. It's designed to soften the landing after a layoff. Let's bring our friend Jessica.
Once again, it's derived from the world of dating. You are not dating your company. The only thing similar is that you're qualifying each other to see if you're a match. It's just business, all right?
Chief Scientist of Workplace Culture at Culture Partners. What is this?
Wait, what was your title again? No way, that's a real title.
Let's bring our friend Jessica Kriegel, a Chief Scientist of Workplace Culture.
Chief Scientist of Workplace Culture.
What is this career cushioning?
It's having a backup plan. I mean, you hear about all the layoffs, you think you might be next, and you think, okay, I either need to get a side hustle or I need to get a plan B. I start applying for jobs, even if I love my job. I don't want to go anywhere, testing the waters out there, and then you end up potentially leaving or not, or waiting for the news.
I guess it's a modern way of looking at keeping your network fresh. You know, you never know when you need to tap your network, I guess.
I just don't understand how this is even content for them. I really don't. I appreciate them giving me content, but what are these talking points?
Yeah, you start talking to people, you saying, what do you got over at your organization? Do you think you're planning layoffs? You make sure your LinkedIn profile is up to date. You do all the things so that you're ready for the next thing. I mean, it is a very fear-based action, but right now people are afraid. I mean, it is appropriate.
Okay, but it's not just right now. You should always be doing it. If the economy is good, always have a plan B. If the economy is bad, well, you should have had a plan B before it got bad, and that's on you. Be more responsible. I don't know what else to tell you.
It is a strong job market overall. We've seen wage growth rising, 5.1% wage growth annually. We know there are a lot of open jobs. I mean, I guess it means for this person who's looking for the job hopper, there are still a lot of opportunities here.
There really are. I mean, you have seen so many wild shifts in 2022 between employees have the power, then employers have the power.
No, that's just all a meme. This is all bullshit. This is all just what the media wants to tell you. You have the power. Each individual has their own power based on how good they are at the skills that they have. That is how you decide if you have power. There is no general shift for everyone of workers not having power and now employers have power. Like, employees always have the power based on how relevant their skills are, how good they are at their skills, and how good they are at marketing those skills. You always have the power.
Really just based on what's happening in the news, right? I mean, the Twitter layoffs happen, everyone freaks out. Then the Facebook layoffs happen. Then Amazon starts to happen. Everyone starts realizing, well, maybe Twitter layoffs weren't as rare. And now we're going into a new phase. And so people are confused about what's going to happen with the balance of power in 2023.
Yeah, we know that there have been a lot of tech-based layoffs, but tech is really 7 or 8% of the overall job market. But you are seeing it in media. PepsiCo announcing some layoffs earlier this week. So I wonder, what is your advice for employers to keep the people they want to keep if there's this feeling that there might be something better across the street?
Okay, so here's my pitch. What if we didn't keep it so top secret? If you know that there's going to be layoffs at some point in the future, usually the executives are very tight-lipped about that. They keep it a secret. They figure out who they're going to lay off. And then maybe the day before they give people some warning. But really, it's always blindsiding the employees who are getting laid off. I was talking to one CEO who said he believes that if people are not safe at his company, he wants to make sure that everyone can get themselves to safety. So he broadcasts it. Hey, we're having economic challenges. In the next quarter, we may have layoffs. And
Okay, I'm not really sure how she's chief scientist here, again, of culture or whatever. But the reason that a lot of executives stay tight-lipped about it is because if they start talking about it, people lose motivation. People start to panic. People start to take data, destroy data. There's security risks. Also, at a lot of these bigger companies where they're doing the bigger layoffs, they're publicly traded companies. So if they start mouthing off how things aren't going to be good to everyone, well, stock's probably not going to be good. People are going to start talking, hey, my CEO said this, and then they're going to tell someone. And, even if you tell them not to say anything, they still might do it. So that's why they stay tight-lipped about it. There's a bunch of reasons why CEOs don't do it. And I get it, but I don't know if the solution is to just convince CEOs to be completely transparent with their employees, because that's just not going to happen. Okay, the CEOs are beholden to the board. The board wants their money. The investors want their money. They don't care about the employees.
he almost encourages career cushioning so that he's building that brand equity. People know that they can get the real truth from him. And ultimately, the people who care about the purpose, who understand the impact the company is trying to make on the larger world and their mission there, they stay because they trust the CEO.
Right. But this can only really work depending on the size of your company. If you have a company of 100,000 people, what are you going to do? You're going to tell them all, hey, y'all about to get fired. Just letting you know, maybe start looking. Like, nobody's going to do that. This might work for a small company of like 20 people or 50 people or maybe even 100 people, but this is not going to work for large multinational corporations.
Jessica, I want to ask you about something happening at Twitter, never-ending drama there. Have you seen these pictures of of the headquarters office, like bedrooms being in the office? San Francisco city officials investigating Twitter HQ after reports that these makeshift bedrooms were installed in the building. What does that say about work culture under Elon Musk?
It says that they're extremely hardcore. Or maybe beholden to a visa and they haven't found another place to sponsor their visa, so they're stuck at Twitter, and I guess now they're sleeping at work. But who knows? That's just speculation on my part.
And to tell us more, we're joined by career expert Sue Elson in Melbourne. Sue, good morning.
Bro, just once, can the news bring me on? Just bring me on once to explain these topics in a realistic way.
We know all now about quiet quitting, but tell us about career cushioning. What is it?
Yes, well, I guess it's the next phase in all of this, concern about work and what should I be doing with my life. But it's basically developing a plan B, which is something we've all known about for a long time. But it's a little bit more assertive than that because people are actually preparing for the time when they do want to move into something that's perhaps more aligned, and they're thinking very carefully about how they can make that happen.
I don't know. That sounds just like a responsible adult looking for a job, in my opinion. No career cushioning terms needed.
Right, so the whole idea is to build on your value as an employee. So why is that important?
Hold on, buddy. Are you asking rhetorical questions? Build on your value as an employee. Why is that important? My man, why you is that, who wrote that question?
Well, we're very much living now in a values-driven environment where there needs to be values to the employer and values from the employee. And a lot of people are concerned about making sure that their life is meaningful and it is aligned. Now, if you have good skills, knowledge and networks, then you are actually going to be always employable. If you can then also have those personal skills, you're going to be able to integrate well in a new workplace, and then technical skills are always in demand. So having all of that up your sleeve is...
That's not helpful at all. It's really technical skills, personable skills. Like, none of this is helpful. Why don't you give some actionable advice?
Have a quick chat with some recruiters who've been in the job for longer than 3.
Maybe have a quick chat with... No, definitely have a chat with recruiters. Here's the actual pro tip. Work with as many recruiters as you want, and here's the key. Tell each one of those recruiters that you're not working with any other recruiters, because then they will prioritize you. If you go full honest and you're like, yeah, I'm working with like 6 different recruiters, whoever can get me the job I'm looking for, then they're not going to prioritize you because they think that you're a flight risk. But if you tell them individually, hey, yeah, I'm just working with you right now and I really appreciate your time and personal effort, well, then they're going to prioritize you. So, pro tip.
So take us through the positives and the negatives. Is there something we should be mindful of with this?
Wait, what did I say? They're going to try to find a way to make this term into something negative. You're one of those career cushioners. You're not loyal to this company, are you? You're cushioning. I can see it. I can see what you're doing. You're cushioning your career right now, and you're no longer loyal. You know what? What are they going to do? Fire you? Because you've career cushioned, I guess. So it doesn't matter if they do. So it's just funny how they take one of these terms and they make it this big deal, and it's not.
Yes. Well, positives mean that you're going to be constantly looking for new opportunities to learn and grow. But on the negative side of things, you've got to be careful that, people don't find out that that's what you're doing. They're going to, have that spidey sense.
Wouldn't B and D be the same thing, relying on anecdotes and insufficient due diligence? I feel like B comes from D.
If you accidentally do let them know, that could hinder your career. And then...
Why would you tell your boss that you're looking for a new job? Don't do that. Pro tip, don't tell your boss that you're unhappy and looking for a new job, because they will most likely say, oh, that's unfortunate. What can we do for you, while planning how to find a way to fire you. I just can't wait for the bosses or for the people in my comments to be like, you guys are career cushioning. Okay, you should be focusing on what you do at work and what you do best at work, and then just focus on those things and companies will reward you, okay? Because it happened to me. If you work hard enough, they'll reward you, okay? Like, don't listen to any of that. Just look out for yourself. You're the main character, okay? Anyways, guys, if you can appreciate me calling out this nonsense, do me a favor, click like, click subscribe. We're calling out this corporate nonsense all day long. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and if you have other trends or anything like that you want me to investigate, go ahead and send me an email, grindreal@gmail.com. I have Discord, Instagram, however you want to do it. I hope you guys are doing well and career cushioning yourselves, and I'll see you guys in the next one.